I only watched it because of the content.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I knew what he was getting into, and I was like, ah. So I just kind of tuned out anything he was saying and listened to his guests.
That's pretty good.
This is definitely going in the podcast. This has to.
For sure. Yeah. Can I kick the podcast off with some news?
Go for it.
All right. Welcome everyone. This is Bikes Unaffiliated Podcast. I'm Sean Spomer. There's Jason Schroeder, Lars Sternberg, and yes, Bikes Unaffiliated, because you, the crowd, have spoken. Everyone loved it. I talked to the boss man, and he's like, well, sometimes stuff just sticks, whether it kind of makes sense or not. So why don't you just run it? So if you guys are down, we're sticking with Bikes Unaffiliated.
Wow, that's a win.
Yeah, totally.
That doesn't happen very often.
Dude, Brad's reasonable. Like, he has his arguments, and, I can understand and agree with. Sometimes you don't, but he's also super reasonable. He's let me try and fail countless times over the last decade and a half. And so this is another one. So he's like, yeah, cool. If people like the name, then yeah, run with it. It sticks. So Bikes Unaffiliated.
I like it.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
that's great.
cool.
One less thing on the plate there.
Totally. Yeah.
It's true.
But
Yeah,
some of the suggestions were freaking hilarious though.
Oh, yeah.
So
Really
they're
good.
a good one.
they were very good. I feel bad that I haven't pulled them up.
Yeah.
Like we should give people some shout outs. Maybe we'll put them on the screen right now or something.
No dig,
Yeah,
no
do it.
pod. Was that one? That was pretty funny.
Yep.
There was one that was like a version of like tech rumors, vital rumors, something like that. Like maybe it was just podcast rumors, but there were some pretty good ones.
Yeah, totally.
I did like the
Nice.
hang time one too, but that's poaching HB's thing.
HP, totally.
There's so many time wheel related type podcast names.
Yeah.
Spoke. Just
The hub
the hub. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
poaching every half of the bike shops in the United States name.
I know. We got Chainline Bikes here, which I've always thought was a decent name.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Not
simple, but well, that's cool. I
Yeah.
did come up with it, so I feel some attachment to it. But I also was like, I don't care that much, you know.
Don't
It's
ever
a
say
dumb
that, 'cause,
mountain bike podcast name.
dude, Brad will hear it and he'll
Yeah,
win every
so-
time if we don't care enough.
Like,
I
"Well,
kind of
Jason,
I
so I'm
don't
actually that into it."
understand what's not understandable about it. It's an unaffiliated podcast.
I don't know.
I mean,
About bikes. Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
cool.
That was
Yeah, we were 2-2 staff wise. And it came out. Worked out.
Oh,
So,
look at that. The people
Yeah.
have spoken. I
yep.
love it.
So there you go. Thanks everyone
Thank
for
you,
chiming
everybody.
in. Appreciate it.
you got our back.
Yep. And if we decide to start a third podcast, like next week, we'll use one of the cool names you guys have done. How's that?
No.
Is that one called Bikes Affiliated?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's the one Todd sells ads for.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, cool. Bikes Affiliated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm sure we'll have some podcasts with how much stuff's coming out between now and Sea Otter. I'm sure one of these episodes will just be kind of affiliated feeling, you know?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
if you include everyone, then it's kind of like not being affiliated with anyone, right?
it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a good point. There's definitely been times where we've call it sold podcast. We have podcast sponsors, but also like podcast conversations. But that's more like, how do we cover this thing and have it engaging and interesting? It's like, oh, this would be a good opportunity to be on like a podcast platform,
Yeah.
which I guess is affiliated, but it feels more genuine.
It's just
Well,
a
if you
fancy
call
name
it
for
out-
interview.
If you call it out as it is what it is, this is about this or this is for this, then,
Totally.
you know,
Yeah.
sweet.
I mean,
Cool.
that takes me to my first What's In, which is
oh, hey.
Intense's Spider I've been riding.
Ooh.
Not affiliated, kind of affiliated. I mean, we work
Wait.
with them, you know?
Wait, is this an ad?
Yeah, this is an ad. But I didn't have a whole lot of like, well, I was figuring the What's In. I got to keep them kind of bike related a little bit, you know? And that's the bike I was riding once I got back from all my travel a bunch. And like, I'm not about to dive into it because I got to write a review on it so everybody can go read the review in a week or two when it comes out. But yeah, it's just been fun to ride a short travel bike that's light, snappy. Feel like it makes trails I've ridden for a lot of years that are not super intense, just more engaging. So it's been cool to kind of get back on a bike like that. And there's a lot of bikes in this category. I actually not that Intense is trying to spin it as some unique bike by any means. I think they're more in their product line where like we're bringing back a bike that fits this niche. But I mean, just last week, Transition came out with the Spur, which is a very similar bike that kind of, I don't know, put some life back into this category. But they're fun.
What's
Like
the Spider rear travel?
it's 130 front and rear,
Okay.
and like what is it, 65-degree head tube angle, which I think kind of tells you a lot of the story.
Totally.
And it's under the build I have is not crazy light. The frame itself is not the lightest in the category, I would say. But I want to say the build with like Exo Plus tires and whatever aluminum bits here and there is like 29 pounds or 28 pounds.
Dang.
I mean, it's light, you know, within the world of bikes I ride. And you can ride it super hard. Like that's been probably the biggest shocker is that that new suspension layout they got going over there. Like once they apply that to some more bikes that have more travel, I think they're onto something. So, because in a short travel platform, it's been like shocking how smooth it feels. There's still like a window of expectation you have to have riding a bike with less travel, but it is pushing the upper limits of that window, I would say. So, and not just like, it's not like it has super progressive geo or something. It's definitely the way the rear wheel's getting out of the way. So, yeah,
Cool.
That's been pretty cool.
Modern short travel bikes are sick.
Yeah. I think you start to see just how good all components have gotten, and then when you apply them to a bike like that you need a little bit extra safety and help to just feel composed on the bike, like it kind of all comes together, you know. Even just running it with like Exo Plus tires, which are really good these days, you know, like they hold up to a lot. And I think it's got Race Face's Era SL wheels, which are definitely some lightweight, more trail focused, almost like aggressive XC focused wheels. But dude, they're like burly. Like you can lean into stuff and hit some stuff. And it's got those Motive brakes on it, which is the first set I've ridden, and they're okay. I would say they feel way more trail focused than any other brakes SRAM's had before. Like it just seems like if you're any bit descent focused, I would just be putting Mavens, if you're staying in their product line, that is. Like they felt less powerful than like XTs even, maybe. I don't know. Power's it's a freaking tricky word to describe with brakes, but
but this graph says they're more powerful.
yeah, right.
They do have a more flat feeling to them.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Not aggressive.
The Saint brakes that I brought to California to ride on that Frameworks, the lines were too short, and MT had a set of Motives in his bag that he loaned me for that trip. And I was
the
like,
downhill
great.
bike?
Yeah. on Telonics.
Telonics, yeah.
And I was like, oh, they work great. And then I tried to slow down from 40 miles an hour, and I was like, they're definitely different.
Taking their time.
I mean, they work, but they have like kind of just a very like linear power feel.
Yeah, and on a bike like the Spider, where as somebody who's more gravity focused, my urge is to make that bike like punch above its weight. Where if you're going the other direction and you're trying to make it light and efficient, which it totally can become, I think Motives are fine. But my urge would be to put some burlier brakes on it. I've got it with HS2 rotors, which has helped a lot, or I think it's helping.
Those bikes are kind of like a slalom bike.
Yeah,
bike.
Totally.
Yep.
Which
It's dual 29, right?
yeah, dual 29. They're like a slalom bike to me in a way where I almost think sometimes they can be not really good at any one thing. Like they're almost so broad in a way. Like the Spider does not ride snappy, twitchy, like slalom bike-esque, you know? Like it's quite stable, and it's also designed to go up the hill really well, which changes some dynamics of like the way you fit on the bike, I would say. But it is cool that you can make it a few different things. I think it's like, yeah, like if you have the ability to own multiple bikes, having a bike like that and then a bike that's like a 160 to 170 bike is pretty neat because they're way different experiences.
Yeah.
And it's a way more motivating to pedal. I think motivating is like the key word after riding that bike all
Yes.
last week. Like I'm just so motivated to go ride because it's a lot easier to climb. But even in the moment of like riding some trails that'll have a flat section or like a 50-foot little climb that usually I'll just throw my dropper up and kind of cruise up before it dips down again. And this, it's like, dude, I'm going to stand up and like crank because I got up it in half the time and I'm like kind of not that tired from it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
They do take the edge off that pain
Yes.
for sure.
Uh-huh. Definitely. Yeah.
Or the dread that you have about going for a ride. You're like, oh, this is gonna hurt so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the next best thing to grabbing an e-bike.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. It made me think about that Orbea I rode when they were like, it climbs with like the speed of an XC bike. And I was like, that's kind of true. You know, like it actually, I was like, oh, this is cool because I'm climbing on more of an XC bike right now. And I am going up the hill at about the speed that I was on an Orbea with a motor. But then going back down, I'm definitely not hammering the descents nearly as aggressively as I was in the Orbea, which that bike's a whole thing. I feel like I've had some people talk to me about it ever since we put out a video on it. They're like, well, you liked it. And I was like, I mean, I liked the idea of it. You know, like all the other editors of these press camps I've been going to that are more e-bike focused sites and whatever, YouTube channels. I'm just like, no, dude, like the concept is cool. I don't think they're going to sell a lot. They're like, yeah, everybody just wants more power. It doesn't have enough power. It doesn't have enough range. They should have put a bigger motor in it.
Were they against the idea of it?
I mean, from just like
What people want?
like the crusty editor point of view, you know, like against it is just like they're against it because it exists, you know, like they're not going to do anything about it. Yeah. But I also was going to these press camps with that Levo SL without a battery in it, which was just, you know, the European mind could not comprehend. They were just not understanding it.
Impossible. Unrideable.
Yeah. Why would you ever do it? They're like, I just don't get it.
That's awesome.
I was like, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to bang through some quick what's-ins real fast. I have Road to Recovery written down because I finally sold our last 2 dirt jumpers from our dirt jump test last January. Maybe I explained it at some point, but like originally those bikes were getting donated to a cause that fell through, and then I've kind of procrastinated sitting on them, figuring out what to do with them, and then I realized I could just sell them and then donate that money to good causes. And I just wanted to give a shout to Road to Recovery because they have a lot of good causes on there, and like if you are in a position or have the means or want to do something that feels good, like it's really easy to go on there and just throw $20 at a couple of different things if you want to.
So you give them the funds and then they distribute it how?
I did it to specific causes. So there was, who is it? Cashaline? That was his last name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did 2 of the bikes to him. He was the downhill rider who got in a hit and run accident in the desert.
Right.
Got paralyzed from the waist down. So did Adolf Silva because they have fun going as well. And then there was Sam Willoughby, the BMX rider. There was him and another rider where they're raising money to get them new chairs. So I just donated some money to that. I also did one to Trans-Cascadia, the trail building up in Oregon. They're another one that we did with one of the bikes. But yeah, it was cool. Shout out to all the brands who like let us keep those bikes and distribute the money that way. So.
Yeah. Yep. It was a learning experience with how hard it is to give money away.
Yeah.
Like how difficult it was to like, hey, we've got these bikes and then we'll just donate them to X, Y, or Z. And like, oh, there could be tax implications. There could be who knows what. Like it's baffling how hard it is to just give something away. So I'm glad it worked out with.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So. And really only like just Pivot asked for some sort of tax refund proof of donation sort of thing, you know, which is fine, you know, like totally makes sense. And which Road to Recovery is a nonprofit, so like you can get that information easily. But yeah, it definitely makes me think about doing that more with test bikes or test products we have when it makes sense, and going into it up front with brands is like, hey, instead of us going through all the hassle to give you this thing back, what if we do a donation kind of like on your behalf or something like that? And I think it kind of quickly, I feel like for brands or maybe even for us, there's like an element of maybe wanting to market that a little bit, not in like a just, yeah, like if a brand's giving a bike that costs X amount of dollars and then we're just selling it and the money's kind of like getting donated and they don't really like they see a benefit of course and like it feels good, but from like a branding standpoint, like there might need to be something more to that to make it all make sense for everybody involved. But it's way easier than like shipping a bike back, boxing a bike back. I know we talked about that at some point. I don't think it was on here, Spomer, but like shipping an e-bike is super expensive for like brands. I mean, the brands are the ones paying when they ship us bikes and we ship them back. And like it's hundreds of dollars. So they can save that money and not having to receive a bike back and figure out what to do with it. And we can like sell it for probably a pretty decent price to somebody and kind of spread the stoke that way. Yeah.
Turns out it can be hard to get brands to take bikes back.
It is true. Okay, cool. I got a few quick videos. Epically Later put out a new one with Casper Brooker, who's a skater out of the like London, UK area.
What
that
is Epically Latered?
What? Blasphemy. Epically Latered? It's
It's
do you know
skateboarding.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you know the details of it more, Spomer? I mean
It's just Patrick O'Dell is just kind of fly on the wall, follow pro skaters around for more than a day, but get their backstory, and it's just a very organic, candid look into skateboarders' lives. Yeah, and I think it started as his blog, then turned into a vlog, and then Vice picked it up and stuff like that. So I think I'm not super clear on that.
it seemed like Vice picked it up, Vice maybe dropped it or sold it or something happened and now they're supporting it again. They seem like they've evolved as well, where like before it was more almost like a really hot like in-depth day in the life in a way where they would like interview people, but the main video was just following one person throughout a day or two with other people chatting about them, like interview style, where now it's like a bit more of a mini documentary or like
and there's like
biography
little
on somebody.
sidebars and things. Yeah. But
They're cool though.
The people he follows or focuses on are always really interesting. They're not usually run-of-the-mill skateboarders. They're either super edgy or probably had some kind of like up and down addiction issue or who knows. Like the stories are really fascinating.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll check it out.
You should. There's a lot
apparently I live under a rock here.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Just
don't
a cloud.
skateboard, you probably wouldn't know about it. So, or if you don't care about skating. So.
I guess that is a good point. It is. I like kind of just graze past the fact that it is all skating because it is just such interesting people that it usually covers.
Yeah, and the storytelling.
Like, and they've got a lot with, like, I think he's been doing them for years. Like, they have some that are like 10 plus years old now. On like Andrew Reynolds and people like that. Like,
we'll link you the Heath Kirchart one because I think he's actually behind it now. Like he helps film or edit or do things. Yeah. But his will get you hooked just because of the person that he is. So
yeah, he's weird.
Almost dies in like trying to sail his own boat out into the Pacific Ocean in Baja or whatever. Like it's super cool. So
cool.
And he's the gnarliest skater. He's the best. So
okay, two more videos. There's Thrasher's Homies Hollywood Hell Ride, which is really good, and then Dennis Enderson's Game of Bike series. Unfortunately, it's only once a week he's been putting these things out. It's going to take like all year to see this, and I don't know where the skate park is. I think it's in Utah.
in Salt Lake. Yep.
Yeah, it's like a train.
Is it one letter per episode?
No. That's almost what it feels like.
It does.
Yeah. It's what do you call it when it's like slalom racing? It's bracket. It's a huge bracket with head to head, and it's just slowly narrowing down. But I think they started with like, gosh, I don't even know, 24 riders maybe.
I know. I'm trying to think of the brackets. Yeah.
So
Probably
each
something like
episode's
that.
a heat.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
There you go.
And it's in a skate park, so there's rail tricks, ledge tricks, whatever. So it's not. Yeah.
And it's like a bunch of pros.
Do they do two each? One red, one blue?
What? No.
No, it's just a game of bikes. So like
No, I know.
Okay, you're just trying to be funny.
Yeah, he's just trying to be funny.
Try.
Yeah, keep trying.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, it's a bunch of like it's all of the top pros that if you follow street BMX or park BMX, you'd recognize most of the names. But then there's like a few younger riders, which is kind of cool, like people I've never heard of. And yeah, it's in a crazy cool looking little skate park setup. And it looks like they filmed it all over a couple days because everybody's like there watching each heat. So yeah, that's all my what's ins. I mean, oh man, my what's outs. I've just got bike noises. It could be a whole podcast. We've definitely talked about before, but just bikes that make noise. It's not it. I've been dealing with like the latch door on Lauren's stump jumper that they were kind enough to send a replacement. So I'm hoping that resolves it. So I don't want to like talk too much crap if we just had like a faulty door, but God, her bike is like silent otherwise, and her door rattles so much. It is insane.
Does it have a water bottle attachment to it?
It does, but yes. But our other friend, Rachel, has a Stump Jumper 15, and hers doesn't move at all. I've like taken them both off and looked at them, and I'm like, they look the same. I don't know what I'm missing, but
Have you swapped them?
No, I haven't swapped them. I just got a new door, so hopefully it'll resolve that.
Those things are really, really challenging. Like that is
can
a
imagine.
very difficult thing to create and have it work properly.
And be quiet. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's so hard about
totally.
it though?
Just the latch mechanism, the hinge, having it be watertight, do all the things, but then also
and not
carry
be
the
500
weight.
pounds.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
totally.
Yeah.
Like sure, you could make it all out of like billet or CNC parts, but
Then you could have different colors.
anodized.
Yep. I don't
New
know.
Shark Tank. There it
Bird
is.
Tech might be listening.
Yep. I want
Custom
that
doors.
Rasta water bottle door.
Rasta.
Oil slick or Rasta, one or the other. You could have the Rasta door with the oil slick cage.
Oh, dude, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Shooting so many birds with one water bottle cage and door.
The Rasta door would come with a little accessory for trail side brakes.
See, that's what, honestly, there's been a few brands that have done on the underside of the door a spot to hold an air tag. And I think other brands have maybe done like to hold like bacon strips or like different tire related things. There's got to be a market for like aftermarket doors for popular bikes that can hold useful things. I think the AirTag one is pretty good. Like
That
I
is
do
pretty
like
sweet.
that. Because I just put AirTags inside the little bag, then inside my frame. But then
I don't want
yeah.
I don't want to stereotype here, but I do feel like somebody that's going to steal a bike like on a whim, like an opportunity theft, they're going to have no idea to like look for an AirTag in a water bottle door.
Yeah. No. I think that's a fair stereotype.
Yep.
What else I got? Oh, I got my What's Out running DHR2 up front. I don't want to go into it super heavy, but I just rode one for the last month and like it works fine. But if you're used to a front tire that's got some real side knobs to dig in, it does not. So like, don't at me if you've been riding a DHR2 in the front and you think it's like the best thing ever. Yeah, it works. It works okay. Okay. But it's a rear tire for sure. It rolls really fast. I could see you running it in a bike park if you're just ripping jump trails because it does roll quick. So, but it'll tuck if you lean too hard. And then I got clogged valve stems. I just don't know why we haven't figured that out yet. I feel like I go through so many valve stem cores like every month almost. I don't know if it's just living where it's warm all the time, but
Are you
always
just running
dunked up.
stock, like old school
It
kind?
doesn't even matter. Just whatever comes on wheel sets and like it's just some are okay and then some are terrible and then some will be okay for a long time and then one day they just no longer take air. And like I don't know. I've tried to clean them with like rubbing alcohol and soak them with like chain lube or like just do all the tricks and nothing is better than just replacing it, like the core at least.
Totally.
Those Fillmore valves from Reserve
Yeah.
I think are really good. Like I have been a fan of those. They're not like fully prone to clogging, but because we're unaffiliated. I'll say those are pretty good. I have bought them before.
I'm the worst about that. Even though I really hate the issue you get with a clogged valve stem, just not addressing it. And
I never
every
address it.
time I have to add air, I'm like,
That's
it's
why
gonna take me 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I hate it so much. Is I deal with it every time I ride because I don't really change them. I honestly will change them on Lauren's bike more because it bothers her more than it does me.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, I don't want to deal with it right now. I'll put new valve stems in your bike or valve stem cores in your bike. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, can we just?
Dude, for Jason's birthday, we'll get you 100 pack of
Seriously,
cores.
that would be sick. I would be really pumped on that.
They're really expensive, so that's a great gift.
It's the time it takes to go order them that is just, I'll never have that time back, you know? It's invaluable.
I'm so bad that mine will be so clogged it's nearly impossible to fill the tire up. And I'll swap a tire, pull the valve core out to inflate the tire and get the tire seated, and then put the clogged one back in.
Oh, I've done that
Oh, man.
a bunch of times. Yeah. All right. That's my what's out. Oh, wait. Somebody put in my what's out something.
Oh, that's yeah.
Is that yours?
Yeah, that's me. That's my bad.
It's all good. I can acquire it as my own what's out if you want.
For the record, between your guys' what's ins and outs and mine, they're almost all identical. So
Really?
so many are the same. So I'll just I have like one or two that are different, but yeah. So Lars, go.
All right. Let's see what's in here. Supercross. I know there are Supercross fans out there. This season has been so sick.
Yeah.
Last couple rounds, epic. I mean, Tomac's tooth.
Dude.
If you didn't see it, last weekend Daytona, he won, and he goes to pick up the trophy, and the little motorcycle like trophy part, he grabbed it by that, and it must have been super heavy, and it broke off and like jammed him in the mouth, and he's like, oh, and it fully. They showed the replay this weekend at Indy, and you can see his tooth like bouncing down his chest.
Oh, wait, I missed that shot.
Yeah, totally. No, it's great. And somebody went and grabbed it and gave it to him, and he flew home with it. And his dentist said if it didn't have any other chips on it, so they were able to just epoxy it back on.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so
And
he's
he said the dentist was like, this could last 5 weeks or 15 years. Like, I've seen both
Totally.
happen. And Tomac's like, let's hope for the latter. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
yeah.
Dude, what about
Yeah,
AP getting a backflip courtesy
Oh
of
my
Roxon?
Lord.
Oh my god.
He got
That was gnarly.
catapulted. I
Did
thought
you-
for sure he broke his hand. The way he was like grabbing it right away.
Yeah. That was unreal. So
That was
Oh, it was
gnarly.
gnarly.
They both were okay, relative.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
I mean, mostly even Roxon, he kept racing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Dude, that
And was
mental.
Plessinger okay? Like I don't.
Yeah,
recall
they said he
seeing
didn't break
him
any
break-
bones.
Oh, that's
Crazy.
awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
just
I thought for
super sore and like
Oh, yeah.
bruised up. But
Well, dude, he got landed on.
can you imagine that?
he
I
jumped
can't even
under
believe
Kenny. It's like the weirdest fall situation
Yeah,
ever. You
totally.
know?
I was trying to describe it to somebody yesterday, and I couldn't in my head like get it all configured. I was like, they tangled, and and Plessinger just did a full rotation.
Yeah. It was heavy.
crazy.
Even
Yeah.
Kenny got like ripped off his bike and just backsplatted, but was close enough to the ground. It was okay.
I mean that was like a mini version of the Barsha Mookie
Oh God, that one was
crash,
Yeah.
which was even worse. And then the Hunter Lawrence, and I thought it was Cooper Webb at first, when Hunter out of the rhythm ran into the back of that guy, and the guy launched
More of a
off the berm
privateer.
into the netting,
Into the net.
and
Like,
then
"Phew."
then Hunter got back on his bike, both feet off the pegs, hit the throttle, and still jumped the double out of the corner with his feet, like doing a Superman, dude. It was so sick.
Yeah, lappers beware.
Yeah.
I know, and the lappers,
Dude,
the
Tomac
lapper-
almost got hit like the last corner.
totally freezy, like fully
Dude.
took
Can
the
we just
main
pull
line.
his pro card at this point? We
I
only
know,
hear
dude.
about the dude when he's in the way.
Well,
You know?
that's his jam, dude.
Who is
Like, he has-
sponsoring this guy
he-
still,
he has good
Oh.
starts, so he's
Hate.
up there, you know, in the first couple laps, and then anyway,
Man.
Supercross is great if you're into it. Been loving it.
Yeah.
Piggybacking, I always feel left out when you guys are talking about all these cool, you know, skateboard YouTube videos. I've actually been consciously dedicating some time and digging in.
Gonna get educated?
Yeah, totally. So I'm still way off the back here, but I'm catching up. I stumbled across a Thrasher Mag bio of Donnie Barley, which was cool. I had no idea who Donnie Barley is. You know, burn me at the stake or whatever. But
No, he's
that little bio was rad. Just a cool thing to learn about a new person and see his story about how he's kind of found a pathway into like creating a job out of his passion, which is super cool. Rad, they had like his mom part of the story, just talking about it. That was cool. And that brought me back to the BFit Blue Falcon mini doc, which is awesome. The Falcon, Brian Foster, he, as a budding BMX professional, I was a young adult trying to be a professional, or was professional, but he was still my hero always. Like every aspect of my riding, I just tried to emulate him. Like, and I'm sure many people did. Like, just an icon in BMX. Rad to see his story. And contrary to some of my complaining to Schroeder over the last couple of weeks, bikes are so sick right now. Like, we have it so good. So I think this is just kind of a mental note to myself to keep myself in check. You know, like, find yourself being bummed out about something, but I mean, in all reality, bikes are incredible right now. I think it's in the Vital forum, it was the affordable bikes thread. Somebody started, and somebody did a comparison of like an old Cannondale that they bought, you know, for a current dollar value of like $4,900. It was like the Cannondale V bike or something. And for a couple grand more, you get like a super sick V10 right now. So like the equivalent of, you know, 30 years ago versus now. And I mean, when you put it into that kind of context, like, we do have it really good. Let's see, new tech hype. I guess this could also be a what's out, but I'm calling it a what's in because, you know, I hear a lot about the radial I'm going to use this as an example, like the radial tire thing.
Here we go.
You know, everybody's like, you know, have you tried the radials yet? And like, I got some tires. I got kind of like personally sponsored by John from Transition. He has like a pretty good tire stash, and he's like, I'll give you 6 tires. And I was like, just give me super downhill Marys, ultra soft, and I'll put them on all my bikes, and I'm happy. Like, I don't even have to think about it. Like, they might not be the best tire, but like, they're just tried and true. Like, you can't, I mean, downhill casing, you can run them low pressure. They're heavier, but like, now I don't have to think about that. Oh, I don't have radial. Oh.
Oh, you're happier without radial.
The regulator.
Well,
you got
I just
has
don't want
radius.
to. I have so many other things to think about. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's like a pretty low priority for me. So yeah, that's why that's what's in. And then also spikes. A few months ago, in gearing up for summer conditions, I was like, I should probably put normal all season tires on my e-bike, and have been running them and was happy. And then I did some like parts swapping the other day. Actually, I just got a new loaner e-bike from Transition, which is sweet. So I was putting fresh tires on it, and I have an old stash of tires, which is very low these days, and they won't fit and work for every bike. But I have like 4 pairs of the old Specialized Storm 27.5 tires, which is like their mud spike. I think they made them for Sam Hill. And I chucked one of those on the back of this new bike. And it's, downhill casing. And it was pretty wet over the weekend here, and went for a ride to ride some really weird stuff with Mark Allison and Bryn. And one of the trails we rode is like probably the steepest trail in Bellingham, and I was loving it. I was like, it's not nearly as bad as you guys were. I mean, it was terrifying, but I was like, I can actually stop.
Because your knobs look like
places.
This near
yeah oh yeah, totally. yeah it's like
Spikes are the best.
Oh, they are. When conditions warrant, I mean, they're sweet.
Like a superpower.
Take them into a hard pack berm and you're gonna die, but
it's true. I feel like the like a Magic Mary's kind of in that sweet spot of being a bit mixed.
It is. Yeah.
Like it works like a spike ish in the right condition, but you can ride it when it's firm.
Yeah, totally. Let's see, my what's out here. These are kind of like all over the place. I will dive. So the one that I popped into Jason's by mistake. I think I started it with "Can't we all just get along and enjoy the ride?" So I don't know. I feel like it's so easy to fall into the like assumption, train of thought, and this kind of comes back to like one of our earlier pods. And Jason, you were talking about tires, and I think it was like Maxxis specifically. And then I was going back and reading some comments, and people are like, oh, they were talking about Maxxis because Maxxis is a paying advertiser. And no, we're talking about it because we want to talk about it, like that's what makes us unaffiliated, which is sweet. But, and then kind of on the same vein, just internet hating. Like I had no idea about this, but I was riding with the Pink Bike crew a few days ago.
I'll censor that.
And, am I fired?
Yeah. See how it is.
The mole.
But they were bantering about Dario getting raked over the coals in the
one of my
forums, and I had no idea. Like I had no idea about this, and Dario was like, "Yeah, dude, like." People are just going out of their way to hate on me, and literally like from my perspective, like I just know Dario as like somebody in town that rides a bike that likes to go on the types of rides that I do. And so we ride together, and, whereas like other people view him as like the enemy, he's, it's like he's a Pink Bike guy and I'm a Vital guy or Pink Bike person. I'm a Vital person. And I don't know. It's like, man, we don't have enough time in our lives to devote to that. It's like, get over it.
That one's on my list too. Like
we're all friends. Oh, I was just going to say I think that's kind of like from the public perception. That's like the industry secret is like everybody in industry, we're all friends, even though we work for, or people work for competing brands.
For sure.
Like,
Yep. And maybe there's a guy called Scrub who's been around for forever. I think he might have like helped kick it off a little bit. And his original post was something to the effect of like, Dario said the Podium was the first mass-produced inverted fork or something like that. And of course, everyone's like, that's not even true. Therefore, like he's written off as a reviewer forever. And Scrub did come back and say, sorry, I was a little harsh on the guy. But, that stuff kind of kicks it off. But like, everyone makes mistakes. It's all right. Like Dario's younger. He wasn't around when the Shiver DC existed or whatever, like dude, it's okay if
most mountain bikers weren't now.
For sure. Right. Except the ones complaining on our forum. Right.
Right.
Oh dude, it's such
that was just a bummer. They just teed up on him. Like, okay, dude, he shreds. He's out getting 1 billion miles a year, like testing all kinds of stuff. Like, I don't know how you can hate on him so hard. So
I know. Yeah. It doesn't feel what a dumbass thing to care about. Like the whole fork thing, I'm like, I don't know. It just sounds whack to me. I'm like, it's such a well, actually point of view, like, well, actually, the Shiver came out first. I'm like, cool, dude. That's sick. Doesn't even exist anymore, Like,
Yeah.
I
I
am
have
probably,
a running spreadsheet of every fork in
dude.
existence.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reference.
And like, there's time and a place where it's good that our community keeps someone like me sharp
Yeah.
on what's out there, but at the same time, it's kind of like, does it even matter, Because it does not matter at all, especially stuff like that. And like, yeah, I know. I felt Dara texted me about it, and I think you had just mentioned it to me on the phone right before Spomer, and I hadn't seen it yet, and so I had to go back and read through it, and I was just like, I'm like, these are probably not like teenagers. These are like probably grown adults just bantering about the most pointless thing, I'm like, Dario's the same, and Pink Bike, everyone over there is the same as us, where we're like trying to do our best to give everybody good insight into the little kids bikes that we ride and enjoy,
Yeah.
And I think he's like one of the best dudes out there doing it right now. He's refreshing. He's younger ish.
Totally.
I think I don't know how old Dario is. I feel like I'm still younger maybe, but he rides a lot, and he also has like really good insight into things that I think's good. And I would say the same thing about most other editors that I interact with at usually it's press events I go to. Like, everybody cares a lot. That's always the thing, that there's not too many, like a few dudes that are pretty salty and kind of just crusty about everything, and like, I don't know. I'm like, this is a pretty good job. I don't know why you're bitching so much about it, But yeah, I don't know, the divide on all that stuff. And I get people just want to like kind of banter about stuff, but at the same time, we put ourselves out there quite a bit with these jobs and these roles, which is part of it, but it's not like we're coming from a place of thinking we're better or whatever, like it truly is very genuine most of the time. I know I have a superpower in that I just like never look back at things usually with things we do with Vital. Like, when I first started, I was a little like, it's been kind of weird putting opinions out there and being in front of like the face of Vital for certain things, And now it's evolved where like I've been here long enough. I still never look back at things. Like, I never really look at comments. Maybe people are just nice to me and I get lucky sometimes, but I think it's pretty whack. I feel like there's just like better things to be bitching about.
And
You should try a good look back sometime. Like, that's such a sick style maneuver on a jump. Like, hit the booter.
Looking back at the haters.
like vegan over the finish line. Oh, how far back are you?
Exactly. One little addition thing to that, and I hope I'm not stealing Drew at Lone Wolf's ideas, because I don't think we're going to do this, but the Fox Press camp I was at 2 weeks ago, I hung out with him and Dustin in Nice for an afternoon because we were on like a same flight schedule. And he was talking about how they just started a podcast over at Lone Wolf, and he had hit up Mike Levy and Brandon Turman about doing a editor podcast of people that no longer are editors. And he hit up both of them, and they both like, we're kind of interested in it, whatever. And my gut instinct was to be like, you can't be like poaching our main dude, like, I'm like, I swear to God, Brandon does this podcast before he does ours. I'm gonna be so butthurt about it. But then he went into it and he was like, dude, I spent like 5+ years back when press camps were the thing, traveling with these two guys. He's like, we were like really close friends, even though we worked for different publications, like, or different websites. Like, he's like, I rode all over the world with these guys and like had so many really good memories. And I'm like, that's a really good point. And like, we've talked a little bit about, even when I was in New Zealand, Kaz and I were joking about the like beef people have with Vital and Pink Bike. And I'm like, maybe we just like record a podcast right here. Like, you have me on yours and I'll have you on ours, sort of thing, And because there isn't that divide when we're all just people riding bikes,
Totally.
Like, there's an element at the end of the day that it's like kind of what we do for work, and we'd be riding regardless anyways. And they're all cool people that we would ride with given the chance if we lived by each other. So yeah, that was one where it put into perspective, like, Oh yeah, like someone like Drew who's been doing it for double, triple the time I have, like all these other people, he's been doing like working around for a long time, and you
Yeah.
become good friends because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's years ago, I leaned into the like anti-pink bike thing or whatever, but it was always out of like jealousy or insecurity
Hmm.
because they're just so big,
Hmm.
as far as audience. And that's everyone's like, have you heard of Pink Bike? Well, yeah, of course. Have you heard of
Hmm.
Vital? Oh, no, what's that? Like we're just
Yeah.
size wise, it's always smaller. And so, like, if I ever leaned into it, it was out of like, insecurity and stuff. But at the same
Hmm.
time, too, it's like, it's fun to have, if you think of like Loic versus Greg or something, just because they've come up recently, like
Hmm.
they're competitors. One wants to beat the other.
Hmm.
And, it's fun to have competition, but at the same time, they're both boys. They're going to have fun if they go out and ride together or
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
they're at the bar afterwards or whatever. It's like, it's not this do or die like green versus red or whatever. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I
Hmm.
think people get sucked in pretty hard, but
For sure. Yeah,
yeah,
and people are really way more critical of them, but what's ironic to me is that everybody goes to Pink Bike and
yeah,
devours anything they put out
yeah,
because it
Hmm.
is good. They are kind of like, I mean, they're the biggest, right? So it's like, why would you not see what they're doing? Like,
yeah,
I'd probably check in once a week and just see what they're up to. And like, yeah, it's just funny. I'm like, dude, it's not costing you $0 to get all of this content and editorial that a lot of it is really good. And they're spending a ton of energy and money to
yeah,
create it, same as we are.
Hmm.
yeah, for sure.
It is a funny thing to kind of be critical of. I mean, shit, man, if they're not doing it or we're not doing it, you're just stuck with a bunch of whack ass YouTubers to get all your tech info from. So,
That's the
yeah,
only source, you can't
God,
rely
that
on
and
that.
bike shops. It's gonna go. Just
Like,
kidding.
yeah.
People at bike shops are good people too.
Heck
Even if
yeah.
I'm not fully behind the idea of reviewing products that you immediately can sell and make money from. But
That's a
That's
good
an
recovery
interesting
there,
one.
Jason.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is kind of an
Yeah.
interesting one to think about. Not to say like we don't have ways that we make money from things, but we don't get paid to write an article. Like we
Yeah.
have brands that pay for advertising, but like we
We
no
don't have
better
10
put no,
podiums we have to sell because of our review.
better put is we do reviews of products of brands we do not work with and with brands we do work with. Where if you're at a
Hmm.
bike shop, it makes 0 sense to do a review of a bike you don't sell in your shop, I would
Yeah.
assume. So, and again, they put out some really good content. There's some shops that have like great people putting
Oh, yeah.
together information that's really solid. It
Totally.
is just an interesting landscape with that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
And I mean, it's so much to do with your perspective, of like whether you can step back and be like, oh, okay, cool. Like it's all good.
mhm.
Your comment about Drew starting that podcast brought up a memory to that point, brought up a memory for me about a Fox launch that I participated in 2013
Mhm.
in Hood River as the like show pony athlete, and it was a
Yes.
press camp, and Levy and Turman were both
Uh-huh.
there, and like things in the evenings things got pretty rowdy. Like McGrath was there as another show pony
No
athlete,
way.
and it was like a robust like media launch.
Mhm.
And I remember we Levy was staying in this little like it was like a little cabin outside of the main house, and he went to bed early, so we all stacked all his furniture and stuff outside his door to try and like lock him in. And he's like, "You guys are idiots!" and open the door, open inward.
Oh,
And
man.
now I'm basically like filling the editor shoes, which is hilarious. Such a weird. So your perspective can change at any point. I
Yeah,
guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I could go on and on about that too. Like a lot of good memories with that crew.
Mhm. It definitely sounded
remember-
more wild in the past.
Oh yeah, oh
So,
totally.
yeah.
I remember. I actually have a photo from a Moab press launch that Turman was at. I think it was Moab, and I have a photo of the back of Turman's neck.
I
And
heard this
he's
story.
like, he's at the trail looking at a trail sign, and there's a little something drawn on the back of his neck and left over from the night before.
Drew actually told that exact story, which is
Really?
super funny. Yeah.
So this might have been from Hood River, maybe.
It was
something
it sounded like a pretty core memory for him as well of just
That's
some
awesome.
late night antics, and then everybody making Turman like pose, like they're like in a big group and being like, "Hey Brandon, like why don't you go over like that cliff with like your bike and kind of like look off in the distance? We'll get like your photo there." And after like the third or fourth time, somebody's giggling and they're like, he's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Is there something drawn on the back of my neck?" And they're like, "No." And then I think he said one of the photographers like showed him the back of the camera, and there's some profanity drawn on his neck.
So good.
Yeah, it's we were chatting about that, not to just do the craziest tangent, but like I would say partying is less popular nowadays than maybe it was 10 years ago even, but maybe part of that as well is just how you can document everything and whatever. But at these press events, everybody's so focused. Like our time is really occupied during the day, and it sounds like in the past you would get done with the day and everybody would like go out and kind of party, where now it's like a lot of people are like, I gotta go catch up on emails, or I'm gonna go start dumping all the footage I shot today and start organizing it, or whatever it might be. Where like I was thinking about that because I wasn't around then. I'm like, maybe people aren't doing as much video, or people are doing more video now.
Yeah,
so that's
for
an
sure.
aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You're expected to do more after you go to these press events, where before you would just like write up an article and drop in some photos and you were done, like you could write it on the way home almost.
Yep.
And yeah, like I think maybe more sites and publications are just shorthanded, or like we're all so busy is maybe part of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
I think there's
yeah.
a different level of urgency and access now too. Like
Yeah.
if we're talking 2015 or whatever, whoever was at the event was it. And there probably weren't 30 people. There may have been 10,
Mm-hmm.
but a shop wasn't going to leak something. The brand wasn't going to leak something. It was kind of like
Mm-hmm.
the media outlets had like kind of lock on the content at embargo. And now it's
Mm-hmm.
not like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's anywhere and everywhere, if not
a good
before.
point.
So I think that's part of it too.
In the same way, the like performance side has evolved like in parallel. Like the athletes used to go straight to party, and now
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's a lot more rigorous.
They have to
It's
post
like,
something at embargo too.
yeah,
Like,
it's
mhm.
like it's just a consistent elevation,
Mhm.
So
Well, and there's something to be said about
for
like
the same reasons.
yeah, like if you're racing and you keep going to the bar and your competition isn't after the race, eventually you're going to be like, well, I can't fall behind. I'm competitive, and similar in a work environment, if at
Totally.
the press
I
event we
get-
all get done and some people are like, well, I'm going to go back and do this, and I'm like, well, I probably should do that too.
Yeah,
I don't want to
totally.
look like I don't care about what I'm doing.
That's why I mentioned that, because
Uh,
I mean I think that's probably very similar.
Yeah.
Uh,
It can go both ways though. Like I've definitely had times at press things where like having the confidence to be like, I have everything I need and I'm in a place I might never come back to. I'm going to go walk around tonight instead of catch up on emails that'll be there tomorrow,
That's kind of a power move.
Can be.
No, I'm done already.
It is though, but it'll also
You
it'll
can't
also make
fire
you,
me now.
it'll make you appreciate more the effort to go do this the next time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you take time out to soak up where you're going. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 100%. Like traveling is such a privilege, and even if it is hectic at times, like at the end of the day, I'll remember the trip way more than the work around it, I mean, even dude, turning that RockShox stuff around before I had to go to Italy, I was joking with Lauren. I was like, well, if I don't write this article in time, I guess I can just quit, like, because it was just so much stuff. Like I worked on the flight home and from New Zealand and the flight to, Italy. And when it all comes out, it just looks like a few articles and whatever, but there's a lot of time involved in all that. But then I immediately forget it. Like, I'm just like, yeah, that New
what's
Zealand
next?
trip was insane. It was the best thing I've ever done. And like, yeah, the new product's pretty cool. Like, it's just whatever. But, 5,000 words later and 2 videos. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm so cooked.
Yeah. And then it's like, what are you doing next?
Oh, and the whole time it's like, oh, this brand has a new bike, and like you're testing that still. When's that coming out? And organizing someone to shoot photos for this, and like doing the podcast, and like, yeah, the momentum with things never slows down really.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to take the time when you're doing whatever it is to like smell the roses, because it's always there. That's been my biggest like epiphany with this job, is I'm like, it'll still be there on Monday. If I don't get it done today, it'll still be there. And luckily, no one's going to die if I don't do it. There's jobs where that's real.
In 3 weeks, there's something newer and shinier anyway. So,
exactly. Everybody's going to forget about it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I get to my in and out quick? Because we're an hour in and we haven't.
This is just going to be what's
topics.
in, what's out.
Mine's short. Cam Wood Zero Tolerance video. This is from a couple weeks ago, but he's part of that crew out of Salt Lake. Rides with like Tate Ross Kelly. He's a little bit older, but does all these cool, fun things where he's riding on like merry-go-rounds and trying to swing with his bike. Super fun. Cam Wood Zero Tolerance. The Vital member builds that was in Spotlight A. Like
that was sick.
The fact that people are building their own bikes that look sicker than what's put out by Uno or like a legit manufacturer. I'm like, okay, the future's going to be pretty cool. So I'll just go knock on the
really cool
high school kid's house next door, be like, yo, make me a bike, and maybe that'll happen. So those are super neat. Kind of back to the trail bike thing. Norco was kind enough to send out a Revolver, which is like their XC bike. I got the 130, so it's 130 up front, 120 out back, for testing. And since I'm anti-fat guy, anti-e-bike anymore, I got that. And like you said, like there is massive motivation to want to go out and pedal this thing. Whereas like my dual 27.5 bike that I had before, there's like, okay, this is a chore. Like I'm going to go do it. It's super fun going down the hill, but going up was tough. Dude, this, I'm like, specifically, like you said, on the flats or like little punchy things, it's so fun. And it's made me really excited to go out and get distance, especially here in the foothills where it's
perfect for there.
Yeah. And it's just kind of boring, generally speaking. And so like, even it's been too wet to ride a lot of trails. So I've just been like going on fire roads and gravel roads and stuff, and just to explore. I'm like, oh, this is sick. I've been out for an hour and a half, and like, I'm not just thinking about hopefully I can get home because of my fitness, it's just like, oh, this is super fun now. So that's dope. The last what's in is the Minar 17 questions quote when asked him about social media, wrecking a rider's performance or whatever. And he had some line, something to the effect of like, back in the day, we used to enjoy what we were doing instead of enjoying sharing what we were doing with everyone else. And it seems like he kind of implied it meant more. I don't know. That was just a really sage piece of wisdom or observation or whatever from the GOAT. So I thought that was a pretty cool one. My what's out is there's this one thing. I don't know where I've seen the commercial, but it might have been on the Olympics or whatever, but there's an Oakley ad for their Meta glasses. And they have some guy like running a marathon, and it's, fire behind him. Can I beat this Meta? What's my heart rate or whatever? He's talking to his glasses. And there's a section of a mountain biker in a full face with sunglasses on, because they're the Meta things. And he like rides down an escalator, and he's like, Meta, what's my elevation? And so there's that. That's what mountain biking is. And I don't know if we can figure out who did the bike riding in that, if anyone knows, but I don't want to dox him or anything, but just like, man, is that what it's coming to? It's like talking to my glasses while I'm in the middle of a bike ride. So
that's amazing. And that only costs like $2 million to produce,
For sure. Yeah. Didn't you go on a shoot for those things?
No,
I was trying to
just
look
about
like, is
to
that
say.
Jason?
Yeah. No. Yeah, no. There's no way you'd ever find out that was me. Did I ever go run through how that all went down at Kyle Straight's house? Oh man, I don't think this is like, I think I can disclose this. So yeah, I got hit up by Brock Van Heel, who used to be Suspended Productions, him and his two brothers. And he's full camera guy, been very successful with all filming and all that world. And so he hit me up and he was like, hey, like I need talent for a meta shoot coming up. Are you interested? I'm like 1000%, because surely this is going to be like a lot of money for one day of just putting around, And then long story short, they went with Nick Nesteroff because myself and most of my friends in SoCal have ridden for 100%. I worked at 100%. So they figured that out and were like, we can't have these people for whatever reason. It was too close. Nick is a current pro. He rides well and he wears Oakley. It made total sense. And so they also had Kyle Strait was the other talent, because I want to say he's also Oakley, and Rachel probably is as well. So they filmed it at Kyle's house here in San Diego, and Luca Cometti, he was one of the filmers along with Brock. And Luca was telling me about this, where the day, like leading up to the shoot, they were like, okay, like, Kyle, you're going to be talent. You're going to be riding. And he's like, okay, cool. Like, am I going to be wearing the glasses? And they're like, yeah, it's for the meta glasses. Like, you're wearing the glasses. He's like, okay, cool. Like, are you going to use that footage? And they were like, yes, that's the whole idea of this, is that you're going to film and we're going to use it. He's like, okay, so I'm a filmer then. And they were like, well,
ooh, dang,
yeah.
Straight, that's sick.
So they filmed him a day rate to be a rider, a day rate to be a filmer. And then when they were trying to find a location, he was like, oh, you can do it at my house. Like, here's all the jumps I have. It's a controlled setting. And then they were like, okay, cool, do that. It's like, okay, cool. Like, here's straight acres. Here's our day rate to use our property. So he got paid out for multiple things. And it was like, you know, tens of thousands of dollars for the day. And when you hear about stuff
Kyle.
when you hear about stuff like that, I'm like, that's why Kyle Strait is still a name you know and love. And he's still a pro mountain biker, because he's smart and does shit like that.
Yeah, well,
I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Heck yeah. I think letter of copyright law is like, whoever pushes the button owns the photo. So let's say Atiba sets up a camera and he asks me to push the button. It's my photo. So unless I sign off or agree or whatever, but
even
so
if
that's
it's somebody
sick for
else's
Kyle to do that.
equipment.
Yeah. I think that's how the letter of copyright law works. Whoever pushed the button is the photo owner. So
yeah, it's smart.
dude,
I mean,
way to go.
I know. I thought that was crazy though, because Luca was, I think Luca was just like not actually holding camera, but either running behind with cables or holding like a more gimbal setup or something. He said that shoot had like 50 plus people on it.
Dude.
And Brock was like, we could have done this with like 10 people probably.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's meta, so what do you expect? But
yeah, crazy.
yeah,
Cool.
I thought that was insane.
That's sick.
Here's one more what's in. I don't know if you can see it.
That
so
Logan?
hold on.
Oh,
Lopes called and I missed it and just never bothered to call him back. And then he writes, "You never called me back." And so, because I know he talked to Todd, so I let it go. But it's fun to just like egg Lopes on and keep him going.
you know, earlier when we were talking about Tomac chipping his tooth on the podium, I'm like, what was it? What's a better podium memory, that or Lopes punching somebody being sprayed with champagne?
Did that happen? Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was there.
I
was
way.
there. Oh yeah,
Someone sprayed him and then he punched him?
Trans-Cascadia. So all right, I'll just go into it. I'll go into it.
This is why I don't call you back, Brian.
Yeah. he's gonna call us immediately after this.
This is I will just speak to this as a voyeur or a viewer. You know, I was just observing, an observer, right? Last day of Trans-Cascadia, the podium, I think it was the overall, Jeff Kabush on the podium, Brian Lopes, and a third person. I have no idea, nor do I remember who the third person was due to the events that transpired.
The altitude.
But I think Kabush won the race. And in all fairness, what I heard was correct, was that Lopes was getting out of town and had his last pair of clean clothes on. And so
never tell people that.
On the podium, Brian, what I heard was said to Kabush, "Don't spray me," right? And so on the podium, you know, they do the champagne, and maybe there was some spraying, and Lopes like ran, you know, like to not get sprayed. But then on the podium, they do the 3-person, you know, and Jeff has his hands up and just tips the champagne bottle onto Brian.
Oh man.
And I think if if I recall correctly, I think there was some dialogue, and Brian told Jeff, "If you spray me, I'm gonna punch you." And so Kabush did that, and Lopes just hauled off and like socked him right in the chest, like on the podium. And that was it.
It was
warned, I guess.
It's great. It's one of my favorite mountain bike related. It's on video too. It's not even like a story.
Yeah.
Like you can go
Yeah.
find the proof, which is
Yeah.
insane.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I mean, I have no like, I don't take any side. I was just there as a viewer. You know, I can understand both. I can understand both sides. You know, like
Yeah.
if you're on the podium, you're
I
gonna
can
get
too.
sprayed. You know, but I also understand only. You know, you've got hours and hours to travel left, and you're in your last, like
That would suck.
yeah.
It's also on brand. The story is on brand. So
Stories like that just seem to follow.
yeah, they just exist.
That's what the big checks are for, is using it as a shield. You know, like
I've only ever gotten to spray champagne once, and it was like the most fun thing I've ever done.
oh yeah, totally.
I was actually on the podium with, I think Tanner might have been on. It was like some urban race we did down in Ensenada, and yeah, I just remember like chasing everybody around this bar with champagne.
Us mere mortals, you know, you soak it up. You're like, give me more. Spray
Yeah,
me more.
exactly. I'm like, is there another bottle, perhaps? Yeah. That is really funny.
Dope.
Yeah. Well, no need to call him back. Now he's just gonna yell at you about this.
Yeah. Well, I know what
podcast.
it's about now. So
There you go.
Yep.
Well, I got a review to write. We've talked about a lot of stuff. This could just, whenever we don't have an actual topic, we could just do what's in, what's out. I feel like.
we could
I mean,
Dude.
they create pretty good conversation.
post up on that first topic. I'm curious to see what people think.
Oh, should we test the 32-inch hardtail?
Yeah.
That's the topic.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Anyway, yeah, that was fun. Let us know what you think or don't. That's also okay. Now, the Corey Cycles, I believe, is who shot us an email. I need to respond to the guy over there because I've not responded, but they have a 32-inch hardtail. Rage Bait is the name of the frame.
Yeah. Sickest
Had
name.
a good
yeah.
name.
Uh-huh.
So that alone was like 50% of the interest in wanting to test it. It has a podium on it, lowered to 140. So that's how they're doing the fork. And other than that, it's a 32-inch hardtail, like aggressive hardtail, I would say. And they reached out. I sent it to Spomer and I was like, is this our chance to test a 32-inch bike? And you're like, oh man, like it probably would be cool, you know? And I'm split on it would be cool. I don't want to miss out on having Vital have an opinion on this new wheel size, but it is not a bike myself, probably any of us, or probably half of our users would ever consider riding. Like we're not the hardtail site. We don't dabble in anything of that. And I just feel like it would be such a predictable experience of like, yeah, it rolls pretty quick. It's actually not as weird as you might think. It'll be neat to see if we see it on a full suspension bike someday, or if major brands incorporate it into their line, you know? Like, I'm like, do we not just wait a little bit longer until that exists?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Put it out there.
It'd be hard to review a hardtail as a primary full suspension bike rider
Yes.
and just not say it feels like a stapler.
Yeah. Right? Well, and immediately I'm like, cool, I need to get the 29-inch version of their bike as well, because I'm going to need a reference for exactly that reason. My only hardtail is my 26-inch dirt jumper, you know? And like, that's not going to,
That's a fair comparison.
I mean, it's definitely my most favorited bike. It's the best bike I still own.
Just lock out your Spider and compare it
I know, true. Just get a metal bar in there.
instead of a shock.
Yeah, like the bars they ship frames with when they don't have a shock in them. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like kind of like gearbox bikes, where that is more interesting to me, but because they're not being incorporated by a bunch of brands, it's like one of the exciting things for media to have an opinion on and like put out kind of clickbaity stuff. And I don't know, like people aren't actively going out and buying it. And 32-inch wheels feel so much like the yeah, we'll just ride it when we have to, like the thing we did with Aaron at Maxis. He was just kind of like, yeah, man, like enough people, enough branding and brands, and some athletes are asking for it. So like, I guess we're making it now, So
And because Olympics.
yeah, well, dude, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, even asking Greg in the 17 questions about it, and he was somewhat diplomatic, but he definitely didn't have that much interest as a taller rider who's really good at riding, who saw the benefits of 29. He's like the face of going to bigger wheels to me, like he's
Especially
the
with
guy.
a team behind him now. Like, hey, he's
Yeah,
kind of pushing this team forward.
totally. Like they could have a Revolver 32, like that seems like the bike for it. And like I read before we did the 32-inch podcast, I read and watched the video that I forget who at Pink Bike covered it. Did a really good article on it, and like a
Yeah.
lot of
It was
Oh,
really
yeah.
in depth.
is it
Was it Seb?
yes, that's who it
Seb
was.
Stott? Yeah.
Yeah. And like not that I'm just gonna like acquire his view on it, but I was like, this is kind of what I was thinking already, as far as like there's some interesting aspects to it. The rollover is crazy. There's some stuff with like tire pressure that you can reframe how you look at it and stuff. And but it's not a bike I would ride. So it's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'd get much out of it, I would just be immediately, it's like the Orbea. I would immediately be looking at like what the future is like. And I think that, I don't know, we just got to find somebody who's already ridden one of these and do a podcast with them. Save us all the time.
All right.
Find
That
somebody
works
at a
for me.
brand who's riding and developing a 32-inch bike, and somebody we feel like isn't just going to be blowing a bunch of marketing smoke at us, and try to dig through what's the reasoning.
Does it seem like a mullet 2932 XC bike, like trail bike, is the way to go? Like, I don't see how you even fit a 32-inch wheel in the back of a regular full suspension
Yeah.
bike without it being huge.
Only with the world's first inverted single crown fork.
And
Let me look
and
up this.
I didn't mean this
Corey.
to devolve into a 32-inch discussion either,
No, it's all
because
good.
my inseam is 3 inches shorter than the sides of that wheel, so I have no place being anywhere near those things.
I feel like it should be a hard requirement for every every brand that makes a 32-inch bike. The bike has to come with a huge rear fender just to keep you from locking your back wheel up
Totally.
on your ass.
Yep. There's your Shark Tank, or you're the clothing brand that makes an extra durable crack patch, so for 32-inch wheel riders.
Crack patch.
You could trademark that, the crack patch.
Crack patch.
Hey, looking at Geo, because it's a hardtail, this brand has a lot of flexibility to do a ton of sizing. So they do it in basically frame size by reach in 5 mil increments from 450 to 525. So let's go 475, 480. That's like usually what I would ride at 6 foot. The stack on a 475 is 724. That's really big. The chainstay length on all of the sizes is 468, which is like
Whoa.
longer than, and this is a hardtail, so there's no constraints.
Yeah,
you
you can
know?
cram it in there. Yeah.
Yeah, rear center is 459. And what else was interesting? The BB drop is 93 mils, which adds to the really tall stack. But like,
You're gonna be swanging in there.
I mean, you're just hanging out.
It's like a hammock.
You're just chilling between two gyroscopes. Like you're just
In the
chilling in
bike.
there. Yeah, in the bike could also be the name of the bike. But I guess answering your question about, yeah, like a 32-inch rear wheel. I'm like, dude, these chainstay lengths at the rear end of this bike is freaking massive, which is what everybody wants right now. But you throw some amount of linkage in there, and surely it gets at least a little bit longer. And
Or a motor.
or a motor. Like, it seems like a 29-inch rear wheel is kind of it. Like, it works fine. I don't know what we're looking for.
I don't either.
Like, the wheels for all these last so many years, we've been really honing in on like wheel performance around these wheel sizes, tire performance around these wheel sizes, and like things are pretty darn good.
Most cross-country bikes' handlebars are lower than the top of their head tube already.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. For sure. Like,
Inverted stems.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now there's going to have to be a stem mounted at the top of your fork crown.
There's just
Under
bar ends
the
that come
head tube?
off the crown. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could
Oh,
work.
man.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
How big are gravel wheels? Are they all just 29 or 700C or whatever?
Yeah, 700C.
Yeah, so like, why not
Or
start?
or
In
like
or
the,
650B.
the larger volume 650. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of gravel, well, I don't know gravel bikes, but I think a lot offered the ability to run both. Like 650 with wider tires, 700 with normal width, or up to like whatever, a 40 something mil tire. Which has been one of my first thoughts, was like, that seems like the space that this makes the most sense, because there's less constraints. You know, like you're really actually just throwing the wheels in a frame and like making the small tweaks to make them fit. And if like those spaces, because there's a lot of benefits in rolling efficiency, if those spaces aren't taking on the wheel size, like, why are we looking at with mountain bikes? I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But that was another thing too, is Corey Cycles already did or had a YouTube video with, I think it's more of a YouTube person that did a comparison with their 29 and 32 inch wheeled bikes, and it was really solid. Like, it just kind of nailed all the things you might be curious about. And I was like, I don't really know if we're the next one in line to want to put out something like this. So, I don't know. Let us know.
Even though we already decided.
Just tell us not to do it. Yeah, even though it sounds like our minds are made up, you know, just like you can change the name of this podcast, you too can make us test 32-inch wheels.
This is not an advertisement.
No,
A
it's not.
32-inch wheel or tire advertisement.
Not at all. That would all be out of pocket. Well, that felt good. I think that was a good podcast.
It was nice. A little catch up.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll try to actually hit up some guests so that next week we can bang out one of the topics we've had on this Google Doc. Something like that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Should we invite the Pink Bike crew?
We could.
That'd be sick.
You know what we need to do?
Get
Actually,
Dario on to defend himself.
that would be
Yeah,
really fun.
totally.
We could have people call in. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I think little segments like that would be pretty interesting. And
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
even, you know what? Here's an idea. Since you
Well,
ride
actually,
actually, since you ride with the other side pretty often, the dark side, the red side, you could just grab an audio clip on your phone with Dario.
yeah,
What's-
I'll just start a voice memo
Yeah.
on my phone at the beginning of the ride, record the whole thing.
Yeah, and then we can put in our forums, because surely you're just talking about all the new stuff that's coming out. I'm sure that's what most of the conversations
Totally.
are, and then be like, we didn't
Totally.
say it. They said it.
That's all that's talked about on those bike rides. Is just, bike
Work.
geekery. Yeah, totally. That actually, this is a long time, probably 2017, 2018, that happened with the transition crew. We went for a company ride, and somebody, I think Sky maybe, had somehow turned a live video on his Instagram on his phone and put his phone in his pocket. And so it was live streaming our ride from his pocket. So it was like blank screen, just the audio.
That's crazy.
And like,
No way.
we didn't know until a bunch of us on the ride started to get text messages from Kevin, and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" Like, and like,
Are you serious?
yeah, 100%. And like, you can't delete it. I mean, it's live. It's out there.
Yeah.
And like, typically, there would be so much smack talk on one of those types of rides, and thankfully nothing really, nothing bad or anything came of it, and it
Wow.
got caught. But it was like 30 minutes.
That's
That's
incredible.
amazing.
And that's actually I remember talking about it, that actually being kind of an interesting thing to do, of just like record the whole ride. And if you want to listen to it, cool. If you don't have to. But like, there's some funny rabbit holes you can go down
Some nugs out there.
conversationally
For
while on a
sure.
bike ride.
Yeah.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Pretty awesome.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then I guess there's Crankworks, but like, there's a little breakfast place kind of like on the GLC side of the village that everyone goes for coffee and breakfast. And it's basically where all
Oh,
like,
Lyft.
Yeah, that's where all the contracts get negotiated.
Oh, you're so right.
Right.
Yeah.
Just put up a little webcam right there, like live stream
Oh
it.
yeah.
You could
Totally.
do that with no audio, and people could pull so much info from it because you see
Right.
all the
Copyright.
time meetings happening where you're like, that doesn't make sense right now.
Yeah,
Like, why are
totally.
they talking?
Uh-huh.
That is so entertaining. Yeah, we'll have to start doing some call-ins or some pre-recorded audio. I could
Totally.
probably do the same with people I ride with here.
Call Lopes right now.
Oh God, no.
Call him back.
No, we've been on long enough, so.
Sweet.
Yep.
Well, cool. We'll chat with everybody next week probably. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.